It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history.
Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects in the life. Thanks for joining me today as we uncover the mysteries of the Mandela effect itself and find out the true meaning of it all. We must discover what is really happening, what is really going on here.
What difference does that make? This was a dream, a fantasy. I mean, you said just
shut up, Offsetter, and tell me where the ticket is.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, very happy that you're here right now. I want to show you something. Here. Today I want to talk about this right here. That right there says Donald Trump time traveler theory. There is a conspiracy theory out there that says Donald Trump is a time traveler. Every now and then, there's a conspiracy theory that rises from the depths of the internet that sounds so crazy and so absurd that when you read the title of it, all you want to do is laugh. But the more you keep learning about it, the more you go mentally insane. This theory right here, this Donald Trump is a time traveler theory, is the reason why I haven't been eating, I haven't been sleeping, I've lost all connection, all social ability with the world. This theory sounds stupid, it sounds so fake, but the more that we're gonna keep learning about this theory, the more you're gonna see that the connection with the evidence that links this theory to be real kind of connects like Legos. That's how perfectly everything fits together. This theory honestly ruined my life, and I think it's about time it ruins yours as well. To understand this theory, we have to understand the foundation of where this theory comes from. So I present to you guys Nikola Tesla. If you don't know who Nikola Tesla is, then you should by now. Nikola Tesla was a mad genius, a very smart guy. He was an inventor in the early 1900s. He competed with the likes of Thomas Edison. He would patent inventions and leave the patents open. He would patent things that were way ahead of his time, like smartphones and drones, which, to be honest with you, was quite astonishing. One of his open patents is actually the reason behind Elon Musk's car company, Tesla. Nikola Tesla didn't believe in having closed-off patents because he felt that having a closed-off patent would only block people from achieving greatness. He wanted people to take what he started and make something even better with it. They use the patented technology from Nikola Tesla in their engine, so that's why they actually named the company after him. He had a vivid imagination, and every time he came up with a new idea and he would have to test it out, he would test his invention on himself. And one of these many things happened to be time travel. I mean, some people just think that he was just a crazy person that just happened to get lucky. I mean, they do say that he was in love with a pigeon. He made a device to communicate with aliens, and he tried to make an invention where he uses the Earth's core as an energy source. So there's no mystery here. The guy's a lucky inventor who dreamed way too big and was way ahead of his time. Or maybe he just patented such vague things that it would only be a matter of time before these things would become a reality. Kinda like when not if it's gonna happen, but when it's gonna happen. So how does this lead to Donald Trump being a time traveler? Very good question. Stay patient, I'm getting to it. You're about to be shook. Tesla died in a New York hotel room, and in mere moments after the FBI was aware of his death, they rushed into his hotel room to confiscate all of his files. I believe they did so as a matter of national security. Yes, a lot of his patents were just fantasies of his imagination and play, but some of the things that he invented and patented, like the death ray gun, were real, and he was the only one that could create it. Imagine if the patent of the death ray, a X-ray beam that can kill you if shot directly at you, was in the hands of the wrong person. And if he ever tried to attempt to time travel, you best believe it will be somewhere in his notes, and it was. In his notes, there was a time travel attempt where he tested it on himself. Seemed like Nikola Tesla tried to make a time machine, but upon revising his notes, he failed because Earth's technology just hasn't caught up yet. This is told to us by this man right here. He was given the task to make sense of Tesla's notes and patents. He said that most of Tesla's ideas were crazy, but he tested a couple of them out and they seem to all be plausible.
But I've checked a few of them and they stood up. For 6 weeks I decided they were plausible and reasonable, and I abandoned the design of electric machinery and began studying the insulation of high voltages in vacuum and the acceleration of heavy particles to high energies.
Now I want you to take a hard look at this man. Does he remind you of anyone in particular? Does he look like anybody that you might know? Anybody with a huge ego and has the world's best Twitter account known to man? This man right here is John J. Trump. This is Donald Trump's uncle. Did shiver just go down your spine? Because shiver just went down my spine. This is the type of stuff you only get to see in movies, but it happens to be our actual reality. John J. Trump died in 1985. And is it so far-fetched to believe that he left his notes to his nephew? And maybe, just maybe, if Donald Trump is so rich, he's a richer makes richer money bags, is it so crazy to believe that he kept funding his uncle's experiments and research for himself to just keep it going? I mean, billionaires fund things all the time. I mean, Elon Musk is funding SpaceX, which is trying to send people into space. So why can't Donald Trump, who's also a billionaire, fund time travel? You don't have to know the first thing about time travel. You just gotta have the green, the money, in order to fund it, to keep it going. But here's when we have to come down to reality, because we do live on Earth, right? Such a thing would cost billions in funding, and Donald Trump is no Bill Gates. When it comes to Donald Trump, he's on a small spectrum of billionaires, and the media made sure we know that. But to be honest with you, that's not a Donald Trump that I remember. I remember growing up, people will constantly say things, and it would be a normal day thing to say, to always strive to be a businessman like Donald Trump. When you grow up, you need to make money like Donald Trump. That was a normal thing to say to a person back then. I mean, even rappers made songs about the guy, about how much money he has and how much they want to have money just like him. But Forbes puts Donald Trump at a $3.5 billion net worth. Isn't that low? I mean, the men would always brag about 10 billion. I have $10 billion. So maybe, is it so crazy to believe that he put $7 billion into research? Yes, it's absolutely insane to believe that he funded $7 billion. $7 billion for time travel? You mean to tell me that this man spent 70% of his whole net worth on something that might not even have a guaranteed return? That is just insane. Yeah, okay. I don't buy it. Nobody in their right mind would do this. Ever. Which is why I kind of have my doubts about this theory. This is the only thing that's keeping me on the ground here. The fact that it would just cost too much money to do. But this is the only plausible way that I can logically keep believing in this theory that he did do this, because he could have. I mean, do you know? You don't know, and I don't know. So maybe he did. Maybe that yes is a no. We don't know. So let's say he did fund the $7 billion and they did wind up making the time machine a possibility. And let's say this happened around 2016. This will be around the same time that Hillary Clinton and Jeb Bush were running against each other. Because let's be honest, you know damn well Jeb Bush was going to be the Republican nominee, as if the system isn't corrupt or something. It would have been a Hillary Clinton versus Jeb Bush presidential run. Hillary Clinton would have won unopposed without being challenged, and Jeb Bush would have lost because people would have just brought up his brother George W. Bush's past and how he did such a horrible job of running the country, leaving Hillary unopposed and the winner. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this video right now wish they lived in that parallel universe, but you don't live there. You live in a reality where Donald Trump is your president. A reality TV star, world's biggest ego, American billionaire, is the leader of the free world. I have to pinch myself about 10 times a day to see if I'm dreaming. And if I am dreaming, this is the longest dream I've ever had. And take that how you will. Because to some people, this president is the best thing that could have ever happened. And to other people, this is the worst possible thing that could have ever happened. But that doesn't really matter. Say what you want about the guy. The guy is a real true patriot at heart. Donald Trump owns golf courses all across the country, and one of his golf courses happens to be in California, and in the city that the golf course is located in, this golf course is breaking the law. The law that it is breaking is the fact that there is a big, shiny American flag, 400 square feet long, flying over that property. Now, according to the city that the flag is in, that the golf course is in, it is breaking the law because you're supposed to have a permit to be allowed to be able to put a flag that big up. To Donald Trump, this is a big disrespectful move because nobody should be able to tell you how big the flag is allowed to be if you want to raise the flag and make it fly high and show all over your land.
Donald Trump has people talking tonight. It is not about his money or investments. It's a fight over the 70-foot tall flagpole at his Southland resort. The stars and stripes can be seen for miles flying over the Trump National Golf Course in Rancho Palos Verdes. Brittany Hopper is live tonight in Rancho Palos Verdes with what he and his neighbors had to say, and Trump himself spoke with KCAL 9. Brittany.
And Susie, it's too dark to see, and they lower the flag at night, but it's just right behind me. And Donald Trump says it is going to stay there, and he will fight for it. An American flag keeps causing some controversy. A 70-foot tall flagpole on Trump National Golf Club in Rancho Palos Verdes has been in a standoff between Donald Trump and state officials. Mr. Trump talked to us by phone from New York.
Flag has been up for many, many years, and after many years, we're still looking to get final approval on it. They're having a hard time approving the American flag.
The flagpole has been an ongoing issue for many years. Trump says he will do everything he can so that the flag stays the way it is.
I will fight for the American flag.
So the city is finding him every day that the flag stays flying up. And Donald Trump couldn't give two F words about what the city's doing against him because he believes that the flag should remain up because he's proud of his country. That's his reasoning for it. And then the more you start to research this guy, you see a pattern in his behavior because he's facing the same exact problem in Palm Beach, Florida, where he's also has a huge flag reigning over that territory, and he's getting fined by that city every day that the flag is up. Isn't this patriotic behavior? And this behavior started appearing way before he had any interest of even running for president. So maybe, and I want to put big quotations around my maybe, Donald Trump went to the future, saw a Hillary president. And it should come as no surprise that Hillary was running on a campaign of not being afraid of going to war against Russia. Hillary made it very clear during her debates in her presidential run that she's not afraid to show American strength against Russia's regime and that she will use the U.S. military in order to get that job done.
You have talked about, and in the last debate and again today, that you would impose a no-fly zone to try to protect the people of Aleppo and to stop the killing there. President Obama has refused to do that because he fears it's going to draw us closer or deeper into the conflict. And General Joseph Dunford, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, says, you impose a no-fly zone, chances are you're going to get into a war, his words, with Syria and Russia.
Well, Chris, first of all, I think a no-fly zone could save lives and could hasten the end of the conflict. I am well aware of the really legitimate concerns that you have expressed from both the president and the general. We've had millions of people leave Syria, and those millions of people inside Syria who've been dislocated. So I think we could strike a deal and make it very clear to the Russians and the Syrians that this was something that we believed was in the best interests of the people on the ground in Syria. It would help us with our fight against ISIS, and we've got to keep fighting, and I will defeat ISIS. And some of it is we have to up our game and be much smarter here
Folks,
at home.
I want to get into our final segment.
But I just have to, it's
Real
so
quick.
ridiculous what she will defeat ISIS. We should have never let ISIS happen in the first place. We are so outplayed on missiles, on ceasefires. They are outplayed. Now, she wasn't there. I assume she had nothing to do with it. But our country is so outplayed by Putin and Assad And by the way, and by Iran, nobody can believe how stupid our leadership is.
Hillary was no pushover, and she was letting Russia know that their game is going to end if she's going to be elected president. Unlike the wars that the United States happens to do in the Middle East, those countries that we go to war against, or those governments, or those whatever you want to call them that we go to war against, those people, ladies and gentlemen, do not have nuclear capabilities. Russia, on the other hand, does have nuclear capabilities. Fighting against countries in the Middle East, some would even say that it's unfair because there's no way that they could win. But with Russia, at least Russia stands a chance. I don't need a time machine to go into the future and know this, but I know that as soon as a nuclear missile or whatever is going to be sent out, there's going to be a second one following it if it's against a nuclear capable country. And I don't know if the world would survive such an attack of getting 2 nuclear bombs back to back, but I know that as soon as they are launched, the world will never be the same and everybody will have a difference of opinion of the world. The second one of those nuclear missiles will be launched, there will be instant regret. So maybe, is it so crazy to believe that Donald Trump went into the future, saw a United States versus Russia war, because Hillary Clinton would have been our president, and decided that the country that he loves is not there anymore. It's not the same country that it was prior to that missile being launched. And the regime that he loved fighting for every day is now gone. Or maybe it's still there under the same name, but it is nowhere near what it used to be like. And maybe that was the final straw. Maybe that's where he decided, I must run. And this is where the shivers come down my spine again, because how could a person that could see the future ever lose if he knows what's about to happen? I mean, do you guys even remember the election? They threw everything they had on him, and no matter what they threw at him, it only made him bigger and stronger and assured his victory. And when all of that just wasn't working, his number just kept getting higher and higher, they threw the mecca of all blackmail against the man and said that he likes to grab girls by the pussy. And that still didn't work. I mean, he even told us himself, there's nothing that he can do and not win.
The people, my people are so smart. And you know what else they say about my people? The polls. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
So maybe, once again, maybe, is it so crazy to believe that Donald Trump got the files from his uncle, kept funding the studies, achieved success with the time machine, went to the future, saw the nuclear war, and decided to run for president of the United States, and won because he could see what his opponent was about to do before his opponent even did any moves. Is that insane? Is that even crazy? I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. Let me know down in the comments below if you think that this theory is true or not. My name is Joel Silver, and I hope I didn't ruin your life. I'll see you guys in the next video.